Lonely rancher found Apache girl hanging on a tree with a sign, "White man don't forgive." Under the merciless sun. 7.919 seconds. Of New Mexico Calder Wyatt Road with a slow steady rhythm, dust lifting with 13.36 seconds. Every step of his dun mare he had been trailing a lost here for half a day, the 18.56 seconds. Prince gone soft in the cracked earth, the silence out here was sacred, broken only by the faint creak of leather, the 25.359 seconds. Whine of wind and the occasional call of a distant hawk. Calder liked it this way. 31.039 seconds. Alone, quiet, predictable, but then he heard it so faint it might have been 37.52 seconds. Wind a sound like a breath that had forgotten how to breathe, he froze in his 42.64 seconds. Saddle head tilting, heart slowing, it came again, a whimper weak and sharp like 49.6 seconds. A thread about to snap, he dismounted quickly, tying the reins to a dead limb. 54.96 seconds. With his rifle slung over his back, he moved through the scraggly junipers and boulders until he came upon a clearing. 1 minute and 2.16 seconds. Ringed by old cottonwoods, and there beneath the oldest tree he saw her. She 1 minute and 8.96 seconds. Was hanging by the wrists, arms stretched above her, her body limp like a broken. 1 minute and 14.479 seconds. Dull, her feet barely touched the dirt, her skin was sundark and dust covered her. 1 minute and 20.64 seconds. Long black hair matted with sweat and blood, her chest rose in shallow erratic. 1 minute and 26 seconds. 560 breaths, but she was alive. Clear's eyes snapped to the crude wooden sign nailed. 1 minute and 32 seconds. To the tree above her head the words were scrolled in thick red paint, angry and jagged, "White man don't forgive." He 1 minute and 40 seconds. Stepped back involuntarily, bile rising in his throat, the air thickened. 1 minute and 45.6 seconds. Warding a message, a curse, he glanced around, scanning the ridges, the rocks. No. 1 minute and 52.64 seconds. Movement, no sound, just the wind brushing through dead leaves like whispers. His 1 minute and 58 seconds. 079. Hand went to the knife on his belt. Christ, he muttered, what the hell did they do to you? The girl stirred barely. 2 minutes and 5.84 seconds. Her head lolled forward and he saw the raw burn marks where the rope bit into her wrists. He swallowed hard. You hear me? 2 minutes and 13.2 seconds. Girl, he asked, voice hoarse. No response. I am not here to hurt you, he said softer. 2 minutes and 19.52 seconds. Almost to himself, his boots crunched forward closer, he could see her face now. 2 minutes and 25.52 seconds. Young, maybe 18, with a high brow and a strong jaw, her cheeks hollow from thirst. 2 minutes and 31.92 seconds. There was dried blood on her lip. He reached up, touched the rope, it was twisted, most quite fiber, harsh and old. 2 minutes and 39.28 seconds. Whoever tied it had meant for her to suffer, not just hang. He pulled out his knife, his fingers trembled, that sign it. 2 minutes and 47.92 seconds. Screamed at him, he heard echoes of things he never said, never did, and yet. 2 minutes and 53.44 seconds. It made him guilty, it made him hesitate, but she groaned again in that sound. 2 minutes and 59.44 seconds. Undid him, hain all of them, he whispered, blade slipping into the rope. I ain't that. But with one firm slice. 3 minutes and 7.28 seconds. The rope gave way, she fell forward and he caught her just in time. Her body was 3 minutes and 13.04 seconds. Warm, burning, even and light in his arms, like she had no bones left. Her eyes 3 minutes and 19.44 seconds. Fluttered open, dark, frightened, unfocused. Calder eased her down to the ground. 3 minutes and 25.92 seconds. Knee in the dust, he poured water from his canteen onto a cloth and dabbed her cracked lips. Easy now, he said. You're 3 minutes and 34.159 seconds. Safe, at least for the moment. She blinked once, then again, still no words. 3 minutes and 39.36 seconds. But her hand clutched weakly at his sleeve. He looked at the sign one last time, then at her, then he pulled off his 3 minutes and 46.64 seconds. Coat and draped it over her shoulders. You got a name? He asked gently. Nothing, guess we'll find one for you? 3 minutes and 54.319 seconds. He murmured. He stood lifting her with effort, cradling her like something not. 3 minutes and 59.36 seconds. Yet broken, but for now you're with me. And with that Calder Wyatt stepped back. 4 minutes and 5.76 seconds. Into the wilderness carrying a girl marked for death and a secret heavy enough to hang a man. The sun was dipping. 4 minutes and 13.04 seconds. Low by the time Calder reached his ranch, just a modest outpost clinging to the 4 minutes and 18.16 seconds. Edges of a desert too stubborn to forget violence. A single windmill creaked on. 4 minutes and 23 seconds. 280. The edge of the fence line in the old barn sagged like it mourned something. The house itself was one room and a loft. 4 minutes and 31.12 seconds. Roof patched with old sheet metal, but it stood solid and honest like the man who. 4 minutes and 36.8 seconds. Built it. Calder eased the girl from the saddle and carried her inside. She was 4 minutes and 42.08 seconds. Fevered, her head pressed to his chest, whispering breaths like dry leaves skittering across a stone floor. He laid 4 minutes and 49.36 seconds. Her on the cot and unwrapped the coat, careful not to startle her. Her eyes fluttered open for a moment, dark and 4 minutes and 56.4 seconds. Wide and distant, but they watched him. The lantern flickered against the walls as he poured water into a metal basin. 5 minutes and 3.199 seconds. And set it near her feet. He grabbed a clean cloth from a shelf and knelt. Her legs were bruised, scraped one ankle. 5 minutes and 10.8 seconds. Swollen rope burns marred her wrists like brands. I ain't going to hurt you. 5 minutes and 16.24 seconds. He said more to break the silence than to expect any reply. Just cleaning up a bit. He dipped the cloth into the warm 5 minutes and 23.68 seconds. Water and wrung it out. Then slowly, reverently, he took her right foot and 5 minutes and 29.44 seconds. Placed it in the basin. She flinched just barely. He paused, waited when she did not. 5 minutes and 36.24 seconds. Pull away. He began to wash the dust and blood from her skin, his movements gentle. 5 minutes and 42.24 seconds. Precise, like he was touching something sacred. The water turned red and brown. He 0. 5 minutes and 48.240 seconds. Worked in silence, careful not to meet her gaze for too long, though he felt it on him like a blade drawn halfway, unsure. 5 minutes and 56.479 seconds. Whether to strike or fall, her lips parted once as if to speak, but no sound. 6 minutes and 2.4 seconds. Came, reckon you don't talk much, he muttered, not unkindly. That's all right. 6 minutes and 8.479 seconds. Silence is better than most things most days. He finished the first foot, then the 6 minutes and 14.4 seconds. Other she let him. When he was done, he wrapped them in soft cloth strips and 0. 6 minutes and 19.759 seconds. Set her feet gently on a folded blanket. You remind me of a river I used to camp near, he said quietly, almost to himself. 6 minutes and 27.44 seconds. It was dry most of the year, looked dead, but after the rains it ran fast and deep. 6 minutes and 32.8 seconds. Had a name, but the locals called it Quiet Snake. Don't know why, just quiet. 6 minutes and 38.8 seconds. He looked at her again, studying her features and the lamplight, cheekbones sharp as ridge lines, lips cracked, but 6 minutes and 46.639 seconds. Full dark lashes thick with sand. She was young, too young for this kind of 6 minutes and 52.24 seconds. Suffering, but there was something old behind her eyes, something that did not flinch from pain, only waited for it to. 6 minutes and 59.36 seconds. Pass, I'll call you Lena, he said softly, just for now you look like Elena. 7 minutes and 6 seconds. Quiet but strong. She blinked once slowly, no protest, no nod, just breath. 7 minutes and 14.4 seconds. Just Calder stood, hands wet, and reached for a blanket to cover her. He tucked it 7 minutes and 20.4 seconds. Around her shoulders, then stepped back. If you're hungry, there's beans, not much. 7 minutes and 26.72 seconds. But better than air, still no answer. He grabbed his bedroll and dragged it toward the door he would sleep out by. 7 minutes and 33.68 seconds. The barn tonight, give her the space. It was not right for her to be watched by a 7 minutes and 38.8 seconds. Stranger, especially not one with blood in his past and questions in his eyes. 7 minutes and 44.8 seconds. Before he stepped outside, he looked back one last time. She had shifted slightly. 7 minutes and 50 seconds. 240. Eyes closed, lips no longer trembling. The basin still sat beside the cot, tinged. 7 minutes and 56.879 seconds. With the color of what had been done to her, he picked it up and emptied it outside, watching the water soak into the 8 minutes and 3.36 seconds. Thirsty ground inside, she dreamed of fire, of horses, of ropes cutting skyward. 8 minutes and 11.28 seconds. And of hands rough but gentle washing the hurt away without asking anything in. 8 minutes and 17.44 seconds. Return the days that followed past with the slow rhythm of desert life, but 008. 22.720. The silence inside the house was different now, thicker, charged with something just beyond reach. Lena as 8 minutes and 30.639 seconds. Calder still called her 8 when he brought food, though never much. She moved. 8 minutes and 36 seconds. With caution, eyes always alert, posture tight like an animal who had been caged. 8 minutes and 41.599 seconds. Too long she never spoke, but he caught her watching him when she thought he would not notice. At night, Calder left. 8 minutes and 49.04 seconds. Her the cot and took to the barn, his rifle beside him. He pretended it was to give her space, but the truth was more. 8 minutes and 55.839 seconds. Complicated, he was afraid not of her but of what her presence meant. That sign on 9 minutes and 2 seconds. The tree still burned in his mind. White men don't forgive, whoever wrote it had. 9 minutes and 7.36 seconds. Meant for her to die slow, and whoever they were, they might still be coming it. 9 minutes and 12.399 seconds. Was 3 mornings later when he first saw the boot print, slightly smaller than his, newer than his, and angled toward the 9 minutes and 20.16 seconds. Barn. Calder squatted beside it in the hard-packed dirt and studied the heel. 9 minutes and 25.44 seconds. Military issue cavalry. The print was fresh, no more than a few hours old. He 9 minutes and 31.76 seconds. Rose slowly, eyes scanning the ridgeline, nothing but sagebrush and heat shimmer. 9 minutes and 37.6 seconds. Back inside, Lena sat by the window, still and silent. She did not look at him when 009. 42.880. He entered, but her body tensed. You seen anyone? He asked. She said nothing, only 9 minutes and 48.72 seconds. Pulled the blanket tighter around her shoulders. I think we've got company. Calder murmured more to himself. That 9 minutes and 56.16 seconds. Evening. He kept the lantern low and stayed by the porch, rifle across his knees. The wind had died. Coyotes howled. 10 minutes and 4.72 seconds. Far off, and the stars blinked into view like ghosts waking up. Lena did not sleep. 10 minutes and 11.76 seconds. He could hear her moving inside, pacing the floor in slow circles. It was around 10 minutes and 17.519 seconds. Midday the next day when the rider came, dust curled behind the chestnut horse as 10 minutes and 22.56 seconds. It approached the man at top. It wore the blue and gold of the U.S. Cavalry. His 10 minutes and 27.68 seconds. Rifle was holstered, his hat low, his jaw rough with stubble. Calder stepped down. 10 minutes and 33.12 seconds. From the porch, one hand resting casually on his belt, the soldier reined in his horse and squinted down. You called her 00. 10 minutes and 40.240 seconds. Why, it depends who's asking. Lieutenant Graham, Dust Hollow Station. We're 10 minutes and 45.519 seconds. Tracking a fugitive, the man pulled a folded notice from his breast pocket and handed it down. You seen this one? 10 minutes and 52.24 seconds. Calder took the paper, already knowing what it would show: a crude sketch of a young Apache girl, sharp eyes, long hair. 11 minutes and 1.2 second. The words: wanted for murder and escape, dangerous, reward $50. 11 minutes and 9.68 seconds. Calder looked up slowly. Can't say I have. You sure? The soldier asked, leaning forward. Small, quiet, might be. 11 minutes and 17.76 seconds. Hurt, might be hiding. We think she was rescued or taken by someone passing near the Cottonwood Flats. Calder held the 11 minutes and 24.88 seconds. Paper a second longer, then folded it and handed it back. Ain't seen nobody but jackrabbits and a cow that don't listen. 11 minutes and 32.8 seconds. Lieutenant Graham narrowed his eyes. She's not just a runaway, Mr. Wyatt, she's part of a violent group, savages. 11 minutes and 40.959 seconds. That sign they left, they mean it. Calder's jaw tightened. If I see anything. 11 minutes and 46.72 seconds. I'll send word. The soldier studied him for a moment longer, then he nodded once and turned his horse. See you do, Holder. 11 minutes and 54.959 seconds. Watched him right off until the dust disappeared inside. Lena stood just beyond the curtain. She had heard every 12 minutes and 2.079 seconds. Word. She stared at him unmoving. He stepped in, took off his hat and leaned. 12 minutes and 7.6 seconds. It against the door. They came looking, showed me a paper, said you were wanted. 12 minutes and 13.04 seconds. She did not speak. I told them no. Her eyes narrowed, confused, suspicious eye. 12 minutes and 20.16 seconds. Don't know what you did, Lena, and maybe someday you'll tell me, but out here, 12 minutes and 25.2 seconds. Man makes choices. I made mine. He turned to the stove, pretending to stir. 12 minutes and 30.24 seconds. The beans he had already made behind him. She moved barely, a shift, a small breath. 12 minutes and 35.76 seconds. And in that moment, trust cracked the silence just a little wider. The afternoon sun hung low, casting long. 12 minutes and 43.44 seconds. Shadows across the yard as the wind softened. For a while it had been a strange day, too quiet, like the desert. 12 minutes and 50.88 seconds. Was holding its breath. Calder sat on the porch, sharpening his knife with slow rhythmic strokes, each pass of steel on. 12 minutes and 58.72 seconds. Stone echoed faintly through the open yard. He focused on the motion more than the blade, as if the repetition might. 0:13. 5.680. Keep his thoughts from drifting too far toward the woman sleeping inside or not. 13 minutes and 10.72 seconds. Sleeping. He paused, cocking his head. The faint crunch of footsteps on gravel reached his ears. Not a coyote, not a. 13 minutes and 18.639 seconds. Horse, something lighter, human. He looked up. Lena was outside. It was the first. 13 minutes and 25.12 seconds. Time she had stepped beyond the threshold on her own since he brought her home. Her bare feet touched the earth. 13 minutes and 31.279 seconds. Tentatively, like she was testing if it would still hold her, the woven blanket he had left folded at the edge of her. 13 minutes and 37.68 seconds. Cot hung from her shoulders, trailing like a second skin. She walked slowly. Her 13 minutes and 43.36 seconds. Steps uneven but certain toward the far end of the yard where the barn stood. Watch. Calder set the knife aside. Not. 13 minutes and 51.04 seconds. Moving at first, he watched her, not wanting to shatter the moment she looked. 13 minutes and 56.079 seconds. Smaller in the light, more fragile, and yet something in the way she moved had changed. She was not escaping, she was. 14 minutes and 4.32 seconds. Reclaiming, she reached the bare patch of dirt near the barn, a place where the wind had swept clean all debris there. 14 minutes and 12.079 seconds. She knelt carefully, as if kneeling before something sacred, and let the 14 minutes and 17.36 seconds. Blanket fall to her elbows. Her fingers moved with purpose as she picked up a 14 minutes and 22.72 seconds. stick and began to draw in the dust. Only then did Calder rise. He walked over. 14 minutes and 28.88 seconds. Slowly, boots quiet on the dirt, giving her space. He stood a few feet behind her. 14 minutes and 34.24 seconds. Watching her hand trace lines into the earth and the dirt, she had drawn a bird wings stretched wide mid-flight, but 14 minutes and 41.76 seconds. Flames encircled it like a burning crown. The lines were bold and sharp-edged with tension. The bird looked alive and 14 minutes and 49.04 seconds. In agony, its wings angled upward as though trying to escape the fire or rise. 14 minutes and 54.24 seconds. With it, Calder had seen war scene symbols carved into rifles and burned into skin. 15 minutes and 1.12 second. But this was something older, a cry, a prayer. He squatted beside her, his 15 minutes and 8.48 seconds. Voice low and respectful. What's that? Lena did not look up. Her face remained 15 minutes and 14.48 seconds. Still, eyes focused on the drawing. For a long moment she said nothing, as if deciding whether or not to let the 15 minutes and 21.279 seconds. Memory free. Then she spoke. Bird in fire, she said, voice dry and cracked like the 15 minutes and 28.8 seconds. Riverbeds in midsummer, my people. Sign. Calder remained silent, his eyes never. 15 minutes and 34.88 seconds. Leaving the image, she tapped the center of the bird with the stick. This was my father's, our family, we painted it on. 15 minutes and 42.399 seconds. Tense, carved it on boughs, always flying, always fire. Elder could feel the tension. 15 minutes and 49.199 seconds. In her body, the way her shoulders pulled back, the tightness in her jaw, she was bracing for something. They come, soldiers. 15 minutes and 57.92 seconds. White coats last spring, she continued haltingly, say we must move far dry. 16 minutes and 4.72 seconds. Place no food, no water, say we're danger. She paused, the stick in her. 16 minutes and 11.12 seconds. Hand trembled, we say no, we stay, we fight. Her voice thinned, they burn. 16 minutes and 18.8 seconds. Kill my mother, my two brothers, burn the old ones inside the tent. Calder. 16 minutes and 24.399 seconds. Clenched his fist slowly, jaw tight, something old and angry stirred in his. 16 minutes and 30 seconds. Chest, I run, hide, they find me, beat, tie. 16 minutes and 35.44 seconds. Me call me thief, say I took rifle, I didn't. Then she turned, locking eyes with. 16 minutes and 42.16 seconds. Him for the first time. There was fury in her voice now. I did not steal, I did not. 16 minutes and 48 seconds. Kill, I did nothing wrong. Her voice echoed in the open air like thunder. 16 minutes and 53.6 seconds. Across dry land. Calder did not speak for a moment, then his voice came low but 00. 16 minutes and 59.519 seconds. Certain, I believe you. She turned back to the dirt, dropped the stick, her hands. 17 minutes and 5.119 seconds. Fell into her lap, then her shoulders began to shake. At first she made no sound, just silent tremors, but then the 17 minutes and 13.199 seconds. Sobs came raw and unfiltered. She curled forward, arms wrapped around her knees. 17 minutes and 19.28 seconds. Hair falling like a curtain. The pain was too big for her body and it poured out. 17 minutes and 24.4 seconds. In waves. Calder stayed beside her, unmoving, unmoved. He did not reach for 0:17. 30.880. Her did not try to comfort with empty words. Instead he reached out and pressed. 17 minutes and 36.4 seconds. His hand into the dirt beside the flaming bird, palm down, fingers spread. 17 minutes and 42 seconds. His skin against the dust she had shaped with grief. It was not touch, it was 17 minutes and 47.2 seconds. Testimony. She felt it eventually. Her breathing slowed. She lifted her head. Her 17 minutes and 53.039 seconds. Face strewn with dirt and tears. Their eyes met, unshielded. You can call me Lena. 17 minutes and 59.44 seconds. she whispered. Calder gave a small nod, voice like gravel and wind. All right. 18 minutes and 5.2 seconds. Then. Lena, it is. They sat together in silence as the sun slid behind the 18 minutes and 10.72 seconds. Ridge and the fire burned in the dirt faded into shadow, but its ashes like the 18 minutes and 16.559 seconds. Truth remained. That night the wind whistled low through the rafters, whispering through the thin walls like a 18 minutes and 23.52 seconds. Ghost, remembering its name. Calder sat by the fire, boots off, shirt sleeves rolled. 18 minutes and 29.12 seconds. Tending a kettle of beans, Lena stood by the window, arms folded around herself. 18 minutes and 34.64 seconds. Watching the night settle over the desert, the silence between them no longer felt like a wall, it was something. 18 minutes and 41.44 seconds. Gentler now, like shared breath, she turned suddenly. You want to know the 18 minutes and 46.48 seconds. Truth? Calder looked up, his spoon pausing mid-stir. He nodded once, careful. 18 minutes and 51.84 seconds. Not to press her with words, she walked slowly to the table, sat across from him. Her voice was quiet but clear. My father. 18 minutes and 59.6 seconds. Was a minor chief. She began our band, small, peaceful. We traded with settlers. 19 minutes and 5.44 seconds. Even learned their God. We had rules, boundaries. We wanted to live. Calder. 19 minutes and 11.28 seconds. Listened, his face unreadable but focused. Full winter ago, she continued. A white. 19 minutes and 16.96 seconds. Woman was found dead near our hunting ground, throat cut. Her husband said it was us. Her fingers tensed around the 19 minutes and 24.16 seconds. Table's edge, but it was not. She died because he killed her. Everyone knew, but 19 minutes and 29.679 seconds. They blamed us. Her eyes found CRS. The soldiers came, not just them, ranchers too. 19 minutes and 36.88 seconds. Townmen with rifles and fear. They said they were taking justice. She swallowed. 19 minutes and 42.24 seconds. Hard, the pain rising in her throat. They burned our camp, shot my brothers while 19 minutes and 47 seconds. 760. They slept. My mother died holding the prayer beads the priest gave her. They left my father hanging from our council.